Alright guys, I'm just trying to get my camera ready here. I'm gonna have to get a different mounting system for this because this one's a pain in the butt. Excuse me?
He's one of the good ones, in the sense that he does follow the law, he obeys the law. All the complaints that we've received, that I've received over the past year and a half with Olmos Park, his name has never come up. So, I needed your name.
Come on by. It's okay.
But anyway,
We'll make room.
He actually has not. You're more than welcome to watch it. Check it out. He has actually never come up on any of the complaints. So if you see this gentleman here, he is one of the good officers. So if you're ever in Olmos Park and you give this man respect. We're letting the viewers know. I'm Texas Sheepdog. I'm Jack, the guy that had the sign. He got arrested multiple times for the open carry. So we're coming out right now. We still have some officers that are still on duty that shouldn't be, and so we're not going to let up until the problem.
Why aren't you going to San Antonio?
So I'll answer that in a second. Because right now the problem is here.
No, the problem's not here. I live here and the problem's not here.
Well,
the only problem that's here is
You haven't seen the videos then.
Hold on.
I saw
Stop.
all the
Please
videos.
stop. Please stop.
Sensationalized for political purposes.
Did you see the police chief?
Why don't you go to San Antonio
Did you
instead
see?
of dealing with the people that live here?
We plan on being in San Antonio all day today.
Then go there.
But did you see the police chief tase?
I
CJ
saw
Grissom?
all of it.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a computer consultant.
Okay, so you know nothing about the law. That's why you.
That's
don't
not true.
understand.
I do. Many of my family members are in law enforcement.
And you don't see how that was illegal?
What I see is you guys provoking the police, coming here when you don't even live here. You could have gone to city council and taken it with them.
We tried.
Not worried about the law.
Ma'am, I have proof. I have video. Phone calls.
So you're going to argue the ordinance with the police officer when their job is to uphold it.
You asked me a question, and I'd like to answer you.
Folks, their job is to obey the law and the
So
Constitution.
are you going to do that too?
You're not
We are.
You going to listen to him, or are you going to make your comments on your video?
Please be quiet.
I'm just making my comments here. I'm not talking to you.
Let us talk.
Go ahead.
Let us talk.
I wasn't talking to you.
If I have a question, she can answer it, and if she has a question, I can answer it.
Yeah, she can be as rude as she wants. Go ahead.
I have proof, and I'll provide you proof. At least 4 times that I talked to Chief Valenciano. He refused to come to the table and talk. The first thing I did was tell him, your officers are stopping people that are open carrying. Let's meet. So he decided, okay, we'll meet on a Wednesday. He reviewed my YouTube channel, and he said, I'm not meeting with you. I don't like what I see. I go, well, what you've seen is I've been arrested, but I've never been convicted of anything, everything dropped. I hold police officers accountable for their actions. What part of my channel don't you like? I have no comment.
You're asking me a question, may I answer it?
But I'm explaining to you. You said, why didn't you go to city council? Listen.
You went to the police chief. You didn't go to city council.
Police chief, city officials, city manager, mayor, they've all received emails from me, phone calls from me. Nobody would return a call. The only person.
This is an open forum. You can come to any city council meeting, but you chose to sensationalize it with videos and provoke the police. What do you expect?
The only person that talked to us was Chief Valenciano when he told CJ Grissom there would be no problem if they came out in open carry. No problem at all. Another recorded conversation. It's on YouTube. CJ Grissom came out in open carry and was tased. They knew who he was. They knew he was legally licensed. They were arresting him because he was there filming. You don't see anything wrong with that?
That is not what happened, and you and I both know it.
It is what happened.
Okay,
It's exactly
that is
what
your spin
happened.
on what happened. But as a resident of this community and someone who would see anybody, it's unreasonable.
It scares you, right?
It's not scary. It's unreasonable because it's out of the norm to see someone walking down the street with an AR-15 strapped to them when no one knows, to the residents of this community.
Okay, is it state
and they're
law
the
or
ones
is it
that called the
ordinance law?
police.
Because ordinance law doesn't trump state law.
I understand that, and I do
Okay, so that's
appreciate
the end
y'all
of the
for
question.
pointing that
Sorry.
out. But the way you went about it was not the way that this community would have preferred.
Do you believe the cops have to follow the law too?
I believe that if you want to take that up, you're going to communities that are vulnerable to this instead of going to the larger communities, Bexar County, San Antonio.
Well, get used to what you're seeing here.
We have.
We are people that are going to start holding everybody accountable when they do wrong.
That is your prerogative to have your First Amendment right, and it's my prerogative to have mine. And what I'm saying is this: you do not appreciate it in this community. None of us
We don't appreciate being put at
just all over
gunpoint
the
every
place.
time we
You
come out.
put yourself in a position of vulnerability by doing something that was they were upholding.
Again, she's saying that it's okay to break the law for the cops.
You were breaking an ordinance that was in place. You pointed out that there
But
was.
again, that ordinance does
can
not
you let
say
me finish,
Trump
please?
law.
Hold on.
It was still in place.
No, the day I was holding a sign, I'm licensed to carry a handgun.
I am too, actually.
Okay, so I'm licensed to carry a handgun, I'm holding a sign, and I'm at gunpoint, on the ground. That's okay? I wasn't breaking the ordinance then. That's okay?
What is your intent?
Is that okay?
What
It's
is
a
your
sim-
intent?
No,
don't
it's a
wanna
simple
answer.
question.
Educate.
Is that okay?
What is your intent?
Sign, lawfully carrying, at
Avoid,
gunpoint
avoid,
on the
avoid.
Were you
ground.
following the
Yes or
direction of
no?
the police officer?
It's- Ma'am,
He
Were
did.
you
if this
following the
police officer
directions of the
told you
police
to
officer?
get on the ground right now,
Yes, I would. Tell me and I'll do
then
it.
you're talking to the wrong people because we won't.
They
And
did
the
that in
sooner-
Nazi
the
Germany,
sooner the
ma'am.
residents of Olmos Park, the ones that don't agree with us, get this problem addressed, the sooner we can get out of here and focus
I
on
have a
other things.
17-year-old son, and this is what I teach him. If he is stopped by a police officer and that
Kiss
police
his
officer
butt,
says,
right.
Get,
Let her talk.
sir,
her-
you
let her
talk
talk.
about being rude.
Let her talk. Let her talk.
She jumped in on your conversation.
I want to hear.
Go ahead.
That was
Go
our
ahead. Go ahead.
conversation.
It's okay.
Teaching my
What a
young man to
biatch.
follow the authority of the police officers. It's yes sir, no sir, and if there's a problem with that, you take it up with a judge.
But you just made me nauseous. So are we done? Are we good?
Then
We're
go
good?
get sick and get out of my town.
Because you're better off telling that to this wall.
Ma'am, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of a man named Philando Castile?
No.
He was following the orders of a police officer, and he got shot in his own car because he said he was carrying a weapon lawfully. He was a teacher. He was shot. What do you think about that?
Where was that?
That was in a different town. I believe
Surprising that she doesn't know.
Where was that?
That doesn't matter to her.
It was out.
Does
It was
it
out
really
in the real.
matter where it was? He was following
out-
the
telling
orders
me.
of an
I'd like to
officer.
look it up.
I
Where
will
was
answer
it?
that. It was out
Just
in the
type
real
in-
world.
Look up the name and you'll
it
find
was
it.
out in the real world, outside of La La Land, the place that you live.
It's called
Okay.
America. That's
See,
where
now
it was
this,
at.
Google it.
we can have a dialogue,
If you
and
don't
then when
know-
you start
if you
doing
don't
personal
know-
attacks,
if you
this
don't
is
know-
where it goes,
if
and
you
that's
don't
why
know
no
who
one
Philando-
takes you seriously.
If you do not know who Philando
They're taking us
Castile is,
seriously
that
now.
is
She's the one that came up here
surprising.
loud
That is so
obnoxious.
wrong.
It took a while, but they're
What's not
taking us
even obnoxious
seriously.
is
Don't
you
say
guys
they're
coming
not.
into
Seen
my
over
community,
500
acting a
people with
fool,
weapons out
and
here
doing
the other
all of
day.
this when what you really want to do
Is this
take
not the
other
United States where we have
people-
freedom to go any place we want to?
Oh,
We just-
Lord,
we just
you're
came
talking
to ask-
about that.
we just
Here's
came
the
to ask
thing.
Oh, she doesn't like
When
that.
you go to
This polluted
personal
community
attacks,
belongs to
you
me.
lose people. We can have a dialogue.
I'm
all
okay
the way
losing you,
across
ma'am. I'm okay losing you.
Yeah.
Have a
Okay.
good day, ma'am.
I'm okay losing you.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you whatsoever. We came in to ask some questions from the police department. You approached us. You had some questions and concerns.
Yes,
I'm
I
more
did.
More than welcome to have that dialogue.
Until
with
you start personally attacking people that cross your line of thinking.
When you come
then
up,
you do
when you
that.
come up and defend criminals that are tasing people when they're not putting
should
people
be
on
in
the ground
jail.
and holding signs,
Regardless
and
of
you
the
say
law?
you don't see a
Yeah.
law being broken.
Irregardless
Did I
of the
say
law.
that?
I'm going to personally.
Did I say that?
She
I'm
doesn't-
gonna verbally attack you.
I think she's saying the Constitution and the law don't matter.
I'm going to exercise my First Amendment to let you know that you're cuckoo.
I think that's why this police department has that
Because
attitude.
the cops
We do what we
asked-
want, and we don't care about the
That
Constitution
dialogue
or the
that
law.
goes to personal attacks is why people will not do what you want them to do.
How many
You keep
subscribers?
it.
Your subscribers.
Over 30,000
From where?
and growing.
No,
From where?
subscriber count. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
How many subscribers? You're doing my subscriber count, right? Because we know we got people that come up and say, because of what you're doing, you lose people. How many subscribers have I gained so far? And how
Over
many have I lost?
4,000.
No, in the last hour.
In the last hour,
We were last count. It was like 42 that we've gained.
we're at 636
And I lost
in the
3.
last hour.
For the last count, I gained about 42 subscribers and I lost 3. So I'm not really losing anybody.
I wish that you would take this much effort in developing other areas of the community that need
Oh, we
help.
are. Stay
Man,
tuned.
a man was almost killed. He was tased and he wasn't breaking the law. He fell about 5 feet and busted his head on the ground. Then the chief told EMS to get away.
Stand
That's
down.
going to be addressed.
Then have it be addressed. If
you
laws
should
were
you
broken,
should gather up
if
this
laws
passion.
were broken, then that's fine. Then that will be addressed.
You
But
should gather up this passion and show up to Chief Valenciano's criminal trial when he goes there.
I'd
and
be
support
happy
him.
to do that. It's not
Okay.
about supporting
It'll come.
him.
We'll
It's
be
about
looking for you
supporting
there.
The correct means of making change. And what you guys are doing are just being divisive.
Oh, please.
Instead of
We are making change. There's already been multiple cities that have repailed
Of course
the
it has.
ordinance.
And
You
it
want to know
should
why
have
they
been.
repealed
And
the
you know,
ordinance?
hold on.
So you can't
And-
say
and
we're not
Olmos
making
Park
change?
And it was because of
This
us.
isn't
You know
effective.
what?
It
And
is
I'm alive.
effective.
That ordinance is on the books since 1960.
Okay, please be quiet. I was waiting for that one. I was waiting
Go for it.
that
Go
one.
for it.
Go for it.
Hold on, stop. I
It's
was
all
waiting for
yours.
that one.
It's all yours.
So she's brought up a very important point that the cities have brought up. They said that their law was back. Yeah, I
It's
think
not a
one
law,
of them
it's a
was
city ordinance.
city ordinance was 1965 it came out, and Texas changed their laws, and the city never changed it to coincide with Texas laws. Well, did you know in the 1950s, around the 1950s, here in Olmos Park, along the street, and in San Antonio, there were stores and restaurants that you could not eat at if you were black. Those laws changed as well. Did Olmos Park change their laws when those state laws changed? You know
State
the
laws or
answer
federal
to it.
law?
It was a rhetorical question.
Then answer the rhetorical
It was federal
question.
and state law, and there were city ordinances about where black people
You know
could
what?
eat and
I
drink.
really appreciate that you guys came. And
Here
you
we go. Another
educated-
point that she does not.
No.
She's gonna skirt, run
There's
away.
no skirting
course.
it.
Yep.
Of course.
You pointed it out.
Yeah.
And the
But you
difference
understand.
there, no, the difference there is that protest was peaceful, lawful, your protest, and what you're doing and demeaning people that want to have a dialogue or even just a spirited dialogue. You demean them
got the
and you
gloves on,
call them
folks.
out and make personal
Well,
references
noticed
to them.
that.
You know what?
So
Nobody got
that-
Somebody's
demeaned.
ready to
Nobody
go
got
hands on,
demeaned
it looks
Saturday.
like.
I am TX.
That's not true.
Ma'am, I am TX.
I stood in front of in my condo and was demeaned by
think
talking
that
to
was
one
just
other
loud,
person.
that's
If you
and
came off like
hecklers were
this,
demeaned.
if you came off like this,
What-
Yeah, if you had that attitude, Don, I wouldn't doubt it.
Let me introduce myself. My name is TX Sheepdog72. That's what I go by, and I'm not a nice guy. And if you're gonna come out here with this bullshit, you're gonna get the bullshit back. So if you could kindly fuck off, I'd appreciate it.
And that's
There's the old
way
sheepdog.
It works.
Have a nice
First
fucking day.
Amendment, man. That's,
Have a
yeah,
nice
you can say
fucking
the
day.
same thing back if you
Yep,
feel like
he's
it.
getting closer.
I'm compelled not to.
Watch your back, Jack.
Okay. You continue obeying the laws. That's
There-
what we
there
do.
won't be any.
You know, there's no issue here.
Trust me.
See, and that's the problem, is that when there's dialogue on two sides, someone
believe
has
the
to,
chief did
someone
wrong?
has to devolve it into personal attacks.
Do you believe the chief did wrong?
I believe,
Yes or no? I don't want to hear no
I
explanation.
am
Just yes or no.
personally attacking anybody.
I
that
may
defends that
answer
chief.
the way I would like to answer, and that is my right. It
Okay.
doesn't matter if you don't like
It
it,
is
or
just
not.
a yes or no. If a judge asked you directly and said,
You're
did
not
the
a
chief,
judge.
I know
Ma'am.
I'm not a judge, but if he were to say, did he do wrong in your eyes?
He's more
would you
honest than
say
the judge.
Yes or no?
It is not my place to do it. It's the judge's
So,
place.
okay, so are these guys the judges to make the decision
It's a
to point a
jury's
gun at his
place,
face and say,
so
get down because he's holding a sign?
Ma'am, I had a sign. They knew who I was. They know I'm.
You see
licensed
them
to
doing
carry
that
a
to
gun.
us right now because you want to know why they're not doing it right now is because we have masked.
We got one down there at the
all
corner
this.
too.
And they haven't done anything to him. They haven't even addressed it. Ma'am, he had a gun pointed at me, made me get on the ground and handcuffed me.
Is
All
there
I had
lawsuits
was a
filed?
sign.
Did you file a lawsuit?
Federal lawsuit
Yes.
filed Monday.
Great. Then that's what it will take.
But
place
I'm
and you have
Texas
to
Sheepdog
happen.
72, and I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna hurt the feelings of anybody that defends that. Starting with you.
I'm defending my
And
city
what I would do
and
is
where I live.
I would go and walk your dog somewhere because I'm fixing to start hurting your feelings.
You go right ahead.
If you want to defend your city, help get rid of that crooked cops that are here.
We're gonna go and take into our business, and if you're still out here, I'll come out here and I'll hurt your feelings. If you're gonna steal, the minute you.
I'm defending my city, my place
Ma'am,
of
you're
residence,
defending a
and
criminal.
where
Did
I
you defend
live.
your, you said you had a gun,
You want to
right?
take what
Chief
happened to you
Valenciano
up
is
with
a
a
criminal.
federal court, then you go right ahead.
Chief
Ma'am.
Valenciano is a criminal.
In the works.
An officer that points a gun at a law-abiding citizen is a criminal. And as long as you defend them, this is what you're going to get. When you decide to stop defending criminals,
Intimidation tactics?
I'll leave you
Great.
alone.
You go right ahead.
That's what they do.
exactly, I am. And I'm going to intimidate
Mirror.
them. They're going to be
Mirror.
held
No, you're
accountable
intimidating
every
me
day.
because I'm defending
walked up to
my
me.
city.
Do you use
It's a
intimidation
public place.
tactics?
I'm asking what's going
If
on
you don't
in
like-
my city.
If you don't like being intimidated
It's not
or
that
scared or whatever it is you are, bye.
Then why don't you go by if you were being intimidated?
business
Use the
here.
same rationale.
Because I'm
And
here
I
to
have
hold
a
criminals.
constitutional right to be in the city where I reside.
And
live,
we
pay
have a
taxes.
constitutional right to have a weapon on our side too. If you said that
Yeah,
you have one
absolutely.
too,
I
are you
do.
defending that right to have it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
and then
well
when
then
there's
shut
something
your
goes
mouth.
awry, that's where the courts get involved.
And if the cops pointed a gun at you because you have it on you, would that be okay?
If they're asking me to follow protocol and the ordinance that's in place, absolutely.
Even
Now,
if it's
when
an
that
unlawful
changes, then it
protocol
doesn't
and
work.
That's where we
ordinance.
differ.
Yeah.
Well, then that's great.
That
You're
is the
different. That
typical
doesn't
cop
mean
sucker.
You have the right to personally attack me for disagreeing with you.
That's a dialogue.
That's what I do. If you want somebody not to attack you, contact CJ Grissom.
Well, if you don't want somebody to cross you, don't come here.
I don't care about people crossing.
Then great. I don't care about that
I only
either.
care about
No,
police
fiction is
officers operating within the law and obeying the law. That's it.
What I care about is this crap that's going on in my city.
Do you see me disrespecting?
Straighten your police department out, it won't happen.
I saw you on camera disrespecting them. Yes, I did.
Disrespecting criminal cops. These two guys happen to be, and I know for a fact, happen to be what we call good officers.
And your determination. It's great that you get to determine who's a good
wanna know
officer
why we call
and
it-
not,
hold on,
and not the city that employs them.
Man, people of Olmos Park have been contacting me for a year and a half, telling me everything that they know about Olmos Park PD.
Great.
I have tons of video, tons of evidence. We didn't just come out here that day. Our group's been watching these guys for a year, filming them on their traffic stop without them knowing. That's how I know that these two guys are good cops. Because every interaction that we've had, and we haven't had any interaction, but every time we film these guys on traffic stops, they're not conducting unlawful searches. They're not searching people when they say, I don't want to be searched. They're doing their job. They're writing tickets, they're serving the city, and they're doing their job within the law.
Then why aren't you coming to the city council meetings during the public?
Because they won't listen to us.
We are.
And doing that. No,
We are.
why
It's
not
just- we
till
are.
now?
We have.
Why?
been, man.
Why all the secrecy?
Because we got
all
people
that?
like you who come up and defend them at all costs.
If
And
there's
lie,
evidence that-
and lie,
lying?
and lie. We got a bunch of liars here. So what we like to do is come up with ammo in the sense that when you start telling lies, we say, haha, no.
What lies am I telling?
Look at what we got.
What lies am I telling?
That the police chief, there was nothing wrong with what the police chief
Did
did.
I say that?
That the police chief
Never
is not a
said yes or
criminal.
no
I did
either.
not
So
say that.
ma'am, either the police chief is a
So
criminal
I'm not
or
a
he's
liar.
not.
So don't call me a liar.
Is the police chief a criminal or not?
I don't know. It's not a court
You don't
of law.
know.
It is not my place to judge that. You bring the evidence, you bring it to court, they will do
We
that.
will. We
Ma'am.
will.
It's fine.
It's coming.
And then you can change the mind of the people who are here. But what you're doing
do
right
that
now
thing.
is just a bunch of crap.
Can I ask
It's
a question?
and it's fun.
That's what it comes down
It's
to.
fun.
This is what you find is fun.
Holding criminal cops accountable is fun.
That's great. Do it in a court of law.
Now we're gonna do
Ma'am,
it
let
right
me
here on
ask
the
you
sidewalk.
one simple question.
And in the
you
court
said
of
you
law.
This
own
is where it
you own
starts.
a handgun and you have your own weapons as well, right?
Yes.
Why don't you open carry if you're allowed to?
I don't care to. It's not my preference.
Why?
Because they'll arrest their
Because-
ass.
Because are you afraid that they'll arrest you?
Absolutely not. We have unloaded weapons after shooting back and forth, and we live right here and have never
Okay,
had a
so
problem.
how would you defend yourself if these guys are not around if you have an unloaded weapon?
I don't carry
You
it.
carry an unloaded weapon?
No, nobody said that.
Okay, I thought
No, she was saying that she has, when she does have it's unloaded. But
No, I
if-
didn't say that.
So if
I
you
didn't
have
say
a,
that.
okay,
I
if you
said
have
No,
when
a
she
we
didn't
had
say
gone
that.
shooting,
She's right. She didn't say
we
that.
have carried from our car into our home
Okay.
and have never had a problem
But
with
if you're
any
walking your dog,
police
why wouldn't you
officer.
have it with you if you know you have the right to?
This is the safest neighborhood in the city. There's no reason to.
Well, the other
Unless-
one last
Yeah.
unless you're
Unless you're
holding
doing
a
something lawful.
sign,
Put the
as a
sign
licensed gun
down.
holder,
Put
then you
the
have guns
sign
pointed at you.
down.
If you're provoking the police, do you think that's a reasonable response?
How is that
What was
provoking
the
if we're
provoking
doing our
part?
Hey, I got a
doing
question.
right
Is it
by
okay-
putting the sign up in the sky?
Hey.
What was the provoking part?
Calling names, provoking, trying to school them on stuff that's not their place?
That was provoking?
Is it okay for the cops to point an AR at a lady's head that just have a camera and tell her to put the camera down and then attack her?
That was another one. AR in her face, hit her so, like this. Put the camera down so hard that it created a big bruise on her. She wasn't armed. They knew who she was.
And he attacked her twice.
Put the camera down. Hit her
Then
like
went
that
back
with
at
the
her.
AR-15 pointed at her, then slapped the cameras out of her hand. Okay or not? It's a crime. That was Officer Salinas. That's the third officer that's committed a crime.
Again, provide the evidence.
We have it.
It's a video.
It's all over
on
YouTube.
news.
You can
Provide
see
it.
it yourself.
Provide the evidence in a court of law. The judge will decide.
In a court of
whether
law.
to do that.
Well, hey,
We're on the way with that.
That is
I'm
already
sorry,
happening.
but when police, and a message to all you police departments out there, we're not going to just take it to the court of law. We're going to do that as well. But we are going to be here in your face addressing it immediately and constantly until you fix it. Right now, City of Olmos Park, no comment. We can't talk to you. We're not talking to you. We're not talking to you. That's not going to work.
Where is the chief?
Olmos Park could have fixed this already, and they're still not trying at all. They will not talk to
Rumor
us.
has it he's been
They
fired.
see the same videos. Chief Valenciano went to Chief McManus and tried to enlist his help with this situation. And Chief McManus told him, no.
And you know that how?
Man, we have everything we do is recorded. It'll come out in time. But what the SAPD did do was they agreed to come out here and handle Olmos Park's dirty work. Saturday, I searched this whole city. We had people searching the city for Olmos Park police. They were not here. We know who was inside City Hall. We know exactly who was inside City Hall. We have people inside city government that tell us who was in City Hall that day, with the door locked.
It's a
The two
shame that
people
you
that were
find
thinking
this
about it?
fun because it's a detriment to all
I
the
think
community
it's
members that
funny
live
as
here.
shit
I think
when
you-
it- when
I
it-
think
Ma'am,
it's
it doesn't
interesting that
matter
you
what
find it
community
funny.
or
I
I think
think
it's
it's-
interesting that you find all of this funny to the residents that live here, pay taxes here, that you think it's okay to do this and
Whenever-
have a good time at the expense of our community. None of us really like
I'll
it.
tell you what I find funny. I find funny when a police department is okay coming out and doing
Oh,
the things
the
they do,
spin.
and then on Saturday they hide in. Not all the police.
It's
but
residents
city
like her,
officials-
though, that let
No,
this
listen,
happen in the
listen.
first place.
Why do
City
you say
officials-
that I let it
No,
happen?
listen. City officials lock City
You
Hall
condone it.
and
It's
hide
Saturday.
inside
What's
and have
locked every
and
Saturday?
have
What are you talking
SAPD
about?
come in and handle their police services because they can't
The
even
spin
so much.
that you do is
They can't
amazingly.
even. It's facts. They can't even
amazing.
find one officer. They could have easily had this officer here.
The ridiculousness of this.
Speak on behalf of the city.
The ridiculousness of you and
Bye-bye.
every single person.
Have a
Thank
good day,
God.
man.
Have a good day, ma'am.
Don't carry a weapon in town.
Constitution.
We came in to ask him
I was
questions.
a history major in college. I've read the Constitution, and though what you're doing, it may be legal, but that doesn't make it
Read it again.
Well, you obviously didn't read the right one. The Constitution is wrong.
All right, you guys open?
According to her.
Can't come in with a weapon.
Can't come in with a weapon.
Knives or
So,
knives or weapons.
so is that so? Just explain to us how that works. Generally, cities will have signs that say no weapons unless they're licensed, and they'll have one that says if you're going to go in a secure area, we can take it from you and store it in the locker.
Come into the lobby
What's going on
and
right
you
now?
can video, but no weapons.
No weapons. Is that an ordinance that's been passed? Is that a special order?
That's
Well, what happens if I say I don't have a weapon and you don't see it?
Let me finish.
Okay, go
Let me
ahead.
Finish. Let me.
I can't help it. I got a big
Come on,
mouth.
I got to establish. Where's that order coming from?
that
Obviously,
order
you
is
guys are
coming from
enforcing.
my administration.
Who,
And
who
it's
exactly? Is
Who?
it Chief
That would be-
Feliciano? Is it the mayor?
it's above my pay grade. I'm just being told. And you can come in, you can video record in the lobby way, no weapons, and that, and do whatever business you need to do here.
Is it that difficult to tell us who is saying no weapons in the law? I mean, come on. You
Above
guys-
my pay grade.
This is your opportunity to shine.
Yep.
And whenever I ask, you guys are enforcing a wish, right? It's not a law. It's not a written rule. Nobody's established a written rule or ordinance.
Those are my orders.
So you're enforcing a wish.
Not a
You
wish,
have
an order.
orders. Okay, you're enforcing an order. Is it that difficult to say where the order came from?
It's Monday morning. I showed up at 7:30. Those are my marching orders. That's what I.
Is that something that you saw that was written down somewhere when you came
No,
out? Did
that's-
somebody tell you that?
That's what I was told by my sergeant.
Like your sergeant
My
doing
sergeant.
something to do right now?
Yes.
Who is that?
That would be Sergeant Reed.
Sergeant Reed?
Roger that.
Reed. Okay, thank you. That's it. I mean, we understand you're following the orders, and then if you're following the orders, we don't have a beef with you. We go up to the person who issued the order and we discuss that, whatever the issues are regarding that order. So, I'm just going to lift up my shirt.
Nice color.
Yeah. So, this is what I carry, and that's all I have. So, otherwise,
When
I'm
you come
fine.
into the building, as an extra precaution, you'll be warned.
Knives.
That's no problem.
You can have the cameras and whatnot.
We don't argue with security.
If you have a knife, you have to put it in the unit.
You have a knife.
Anybody that has a knife.
Yeah, let's put it out.
Well, I'm not saying what I got or what I don't
We
got.
don't argue or test security measures with yourselves.
Thank you guys for being peaceful.
Thank you for upholding your oath. That's your opportunity to shine, and you guys shine very well during this interaction.
I have a viewer asking right now, what's the blue gloves for?
Oh, I do it because, when they get in there and,
He knew he had a pink dildo and didn't want to worry about it.
Oh, I
He said, oh, that's the guy with the pink dildo? I don't want it.
it's an extra precaution.
I mean, there is that rumor that he has been fired. You guys can't comment on that at all?
I would never get saying
Above my pay grade.
Okay.
If you knew, could you comment?
I didn't even get to get my coffee
It
and
would.
cigarettes. I was
It
running
would
late.
be
I'm like,
goofy not.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. That's okay. I understand.
Nobody has any weapons, knives, or anything like that.
No,
We're ready.
just a
I
camera.
don't answer questions.
Nice one.
We were supposed to get somebody inside first, but that's all right. We're good. Oh, something new. Dude.
Yeah, I think I just stand over here. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Just metal? Or everything?
Hold on for a second. Let me get set up so you can film me. Guys? You guys ready? Okay. All right. Remember, we got to keep that production value, so we got to get that.
Thank you.
I would say at this point, so you're learning how this rolls. At this point,
Yeah.
we know we're dealing with good officers. This staff right there has never given us an issue. So I would say, other than the folks that are live streaming, everybody else is turning their cameras on. We're all gonna have access to each other's footage. That saves battery.
Oh, I know who this guy is.
I know there's a lot of.
Right on. So, they're not allowed. You got it.
I'm not coming through.
Did you read the building, sir? This protocol.
We'll find out what the deal is. Multi-use.
You can look at it.
I think that's it. Okay.
It's not your soccer thing.
It's multi-use, you have to let them in.
See, that's the kind of interaction that I was hoping for when you saw me come up to the camera and you say, good morning. In my town, because I came from away from up north.
Get in there.
They don't even.
Thank you.
I wish more cops very much so. All right, Jack. This is your show, buddy.
All right, so I'm going to be asking some questions to the clerk. And if y'all could, let me interact with the clerk. If the clerk is obnoxious or rude or anything like that, please allow me to interact with her. Because you're going to get good, for those of you that are learning, the best thing to do is to sometimes just close your mouth and let the person talk. You'd be amazed at what comes out of a person's mouth if you just let them talk. The last thing you want to do is, if they're going to say something that's going to be great, maybe something really, really stupid, you don't want to cut them off at the pass, and you'll never get that on video. Regardless of what happens, whether it be between me and the police officers or the clerk, let them speak, let me speak, and just focus with the cameras, catching everything. So I don't anticipate we're going to have any issues from the police officers here, but you never know. About the only thing that I foresee having an issue with is disorderly conduct. So for you guys that are watching, disorderly conduct in Texas, there's a law basically that says that it deals with people being offended, it deals with being vulgar or abusive, things like that, by way of mouth. Now, you guys know that in the city of San Antonio, in the past year, I've been ticketed 8 times for disorderly conduct. You also know that every one of those cases have been dismissed for the reason that the conduct did not constitute disorderly conduct. And you guys know, out of those, 4 of those cases have settled so far. Every one of them have been sued for, and they've all settled. So the other ones we're asking for a little bit more money, so they don't want to come to the board yet. But they will ultimately, they have to, because we're armed with Supreme Court rulings, we're armed with federal case law that specifically addresses what comes out of your mouth. Now, there's not a smorgasbord and you can say whatever you want out there. There are some things that you can't say. And I'll give you a quick example of that. If I come in here and I flip this police officer off, there's specific Supreme Court ruling that says I can specifically do that. If I tell the police officer, fuck you, or call him an asshole, or whatever, police officers cannot be incited to breach the peace. And one of the requirements in Texas is that the speech has to be such that it incites immediate breach of the peace. These are peace officers. They can't be incited to breach the peace. It'd be against their oath. So they can't be the person offended. Now they may be offended. They're human beings just like everyone else. But they do have a duty and an oath to uphold the fact that they can't be incited to breach the peace. And if you don't have that element, conduct that tends to incite immediate breach of the peace, then you don't have an offense. Now, as far as members of the public, we've seen San Antonio police make the fatal mistake of saying, well, this person is offended, so we're going to write you a ticket, we got you. You guys have all seen on my video, when SAPD was asking members of the public as they were walking by, are you offended, ma'am? Are you offended, ma'am? And then I had to go out and find somebody that was offended. I found a woman and her kid. And I called the police officer, a motherfucker, stuff. I could, 10 black person officials ago, yes, we've seen people in the city staff, only the police officers, and we know who we're dealing with today, so I don't expect any issues. If I were to get arrested, please do not call the magistrate's office. They've been 100% professional. Last year was a little different, but now they learn, and they're absolutely professional when we're in there. They do their job, but they do it professionally. They don't catcall us, they don't insult us, they don't manhandle or mistreat us. So please don't call them, let them do their job. That's the fastest way to get us out of there. You're more than welcome to call the City of Olmos Park if they act inappropriately, and let them know, how you feel. That is your First Amendment right. But leave the magistrate's office alone. All right, thank you. You guys can take your positions. Let me know when y'all are ready. You have your camera positions. If y'all want to come over here, you can. It's up to me. It's up to y'all.
I'll step out of the way so we can
All right, so I got a couple of questions. And if you can't answer them, you can find somebody that will answer them. The first one is Chief Valenciano still employed by the City of Olmos Park? The second question is there anybody that's willing to apologize to anyone that they've committed criminal acts against so far?
I can't call this right back.
Okay, because if they're ready to do that, we certainly can document that. The other question is, I was trespass warned from the Shell station. My name is Jack Miller. The Shell station has lifted that trespass. They allow me in their store now, and they also allow the other guy that was trespassing. But there's a police report that says that I'm trespass warned, and if I'm seen there, instructions for officers to arrest me for trespassing. So we need to address that officially. I don't want the city to get in any more trouble. So it's my intent right now to make sure that, for instance, if this was pass arrest, so just so you guys are aware, Shell Station has the guy on the video. We actually want to post pictures of us and free drinks. Kind of apologize. It seems that they were. I'm not gonna say it on camera, but they made reparations.
They also they're asking about the 1,000-page petition if they received this.
Okay,
I ain't done YouTube live yet, so I'm gonna need help next topic.
No, that's not the flag guys. They were asking about that. I didn't see any of those flags in here.
I looked, I didn't see it.
None of these officers are wearing any of that paraphernalia, so only Chief Valenciano. Chief Valenciano had a blue line flag on his.
You guys don't have that on your cars, do you?
What's that?
That blue line flag?
No, they don't have it on any of their police vehicles. The only person that I've seen wear the blue line flag is Chief Valenciano. And it in fact is it's not an authorized piece of equipment.
Well, it's a desecration of the American flag.
And he obviously feels that he can do whatever he wants with no accountability. So it doesn't surprise me he has that on his uniform. For those of you that don't know about the blue line, I can tell you with no degree of uncertainty that the blue line actually honestly represents, and I know some of you are going to be like, oh,
Can you hold right there for me? Just put your hand right there.
So the blue line represents the line between the police and the bad guys. I'm sorry, let me take that back. The blue line represents the police. And on one side of that line is the citizen, law-abiding, and on the other side of that line is the criminal. And the blue line represents the police that stand in between the citizens and the criminal. And that originally, that's what the blue line is for. But since we've seen it taken and used for all kinds of symbolic purposes.
Like the Punisher?
Officers that have fallen in the line of duty, we've seen it used for that. We've seen it used for, more commonly that we see it being used as a show of unity among bad cops. Hey, how you doing? I'm Jack Miller, Sergeant Reed. Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
So the Shell station, they lived in my trespass warning.
I have no idea about that.
I know that you guys don't. So as it stands right now, I'm going to avoid any problems with planning.
Okay.
So in the event that I'm standing right there, open carrying or whatever I'm doing, right now your officers, when they see me, they're going to assume that I'm still trespass warrant. And and cuffs are probably going to go on.
Okay, as far as that right now, there's still an investigation going on with that, so.
Well, actually,
we don't know. Well, I'm saying we don't know whether the manager or the store owner,
yeah, so
if
I
it's
need,
been waived or not.
right, so what I need is I need an officer, preferably one that's not fat, one that's not old, like Ruiz, who forgets about the law, somebody professional like yourself, or this officer here. I need an officer to go out there and document that.
Well, we need them to come in and do it, but as far as the other ones going on, that's still under criminal investigation, as you know that.
It doesn't surprise me that you guys are reluctant to go up there.
No, but they gotta come, they're the ones that gotta come do it, not us, it's not.
They didn't have to come here to get it
It's the store
done.
owner's responsibility, not ours.
Actually, it's not. You guys actually solicited that trespass warning. We have it all on video. You guys almost begged them to trespass warn me. You guys didn't notice our guy that was still in the store. Hector Ruiz did not notice our guy that was still in the store recording him as he was talking to the clerk. Your police officer begged him to trespass warn us. He didn't want to.
Okay, well, like I said, I don't have information on that, so.
Being that you guys have,
That's your opinion or whatever you got.
I'm telling you,
That's
it's
fine.
facts.
Well, that's fine.
You guys have energy to beg store owners to trespass warn people, but you don't care to go have it, write a report that it's lifted.
That's like, again, that's up to them to come to us and tell us they want the criminal trespass lifted. That's totally up to them.
Okay, so when you come up there, this is all I'm gonna ask. You guys know who I am. You
I
guys.
don't know who you are.
Oh, come on.
I don't know who you are.
Check, ask.
Do I know you?
Okay, ask the person that has contacted the state of Arizona 3 times.
Do I know you?
Trying to get my license suspended.
Do I know you?
Are you gonna say you do not know who
Do
I
I
am?
know you? Do I personally know you or know anything about you?
Personally,
No, I
know
don't.
you? No.
I just want to get that understanding. I don't know.
Okay. You don't know my
I
name.
don't.
Excuse me, sir. You know my name.
I
Careful, because I know what you know about me.
No, but I don't. I don't know you. You said I know you. and I don't.
I have audio recording of this man talking about me.
Do you have any other police
I
report
do.
to
I
file?
have a couple other questions.
Or it's not an obligation to answer.
Oh, we did that. You guys don't have an obligation.
Okay, so what can I do for you? You got a police report?
Fucking word! You shut the fuck up for a minute.
You got a police
Can
report?
you shut the fuck up for a
You got
minute?
police report
Listen.
file or anything like that? Okay.
Get the fuck out of
Appreciate
here.
it. You
Get in
bet.
that door and get the
Yes,
fuck out of
you
here.
bet.
You're a bad cop.
You
You
bet.
fucking suck ass.
You bet.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
I got no time to deal with
Good
you.
for you.
Bye.
Good for you.
You're dismissed. Get the fuck out of
I
my
heard
face.
all that before.
The fuck out of my face. Shut the fuck
I heard
up.
all before.
Shut the fuck
Heard it all
up.
before, funny.
Shut the
Heard it all
fuck
before.
up.
Heard it all before.
Shut the fuck
Heard it all
up.
before.
Shut the fuck
Heard it all
up.
before.
Goodbye.
Okay,
To tell you to shut the
Fuck
fuck
off.
up.
Heard it all before.
Go in there. Go in there and get down and see how the fucking hand job.
No alerts.
Go in there and finish.
Go
Go in there and finish your hand job with the fucking chief.
No reports.
Or tell that fucking coward to get out.
No reports. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks for not tasing anybody
Fuck
today.
out here.
That's the sheepdog.
Good cops get what they've gotten so far. And these guys have gotten nothing but respect. But pieces of shit like that who come out and they tell citizens that they're not obligated to do shit, when they lie to a citizen's face. I have audio recordings of this guy talking in depth about me and what he would love to do to me if he ever got to handcuff me. But he's gonna say he doesn't know my name. He's a liar. That's Sergeant Reed. That's the officer that gave the orders that no weapon, no licensed handguns in the building. Now please understand the context of this. At this point, for the city of Olmos Park, we are going to be in their asses every fucking day. And they're going to understand that when they pull somebody over or they stop someone, there's a 99% chance it might be one of us. There's a 100% chance that that person, if he's not affiliated with us, is going to send us a video or an audio recording. That includes their own fucking officers. There's officers in this department that have chosen to take the high road. You'll know who these officers are later, maybe later on in the year when they turn state's witness. Liars like this, they get nothing from me at this point. Now, I've been nice up until this point because I promised coordinators of the rally that I would be nice. But Sheepdog is back, and Sheepdog don't take no shit from lying pieces of shit, cops like that disgrace the uniform, they disgrace the law enforcement profession.
And that's the kind of cop that gets good cops hurt and killed.
Cops like that,
Did you notice he was wearing a blue line?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Did everybody notice?
Yes.
Okay. No blue line flags on their uniforms. Their uniforms are actually within policy. But this douchebag comes out wearing the blue line flag, you know, I keyed on that right away.
Hey, you were on a roll. I wasn't gonna interrupt.
Well, you know, one thing I noticed is that he came out of that door with an attitude already.
Oh, yeah.
He opened that door, the way
He knew
came
who was
that
out here.
door, and I was like, look, that's why I got my phone and started again.
He looked right up there through those
Yeah.
before he came out.
Yeah.
The cameras up there.
You know, make sure they're blinking and running. I get that. Look, so and then I gave him respect when he came out, and I started disrespecting him when he started lying to me. I'm done with the lies. I'm done with the we're not going to comment. I'm done with the I'm under no obligation to talk to you or answer questions. You know, we heard that from Lopez the other day. I'm under no obligation to talk to you. With the whole video incident with the citizen, what I would have done when I was a cop, I would have simply came out, guys, I'm out here. They called because you're filming over here. Just want to let you guys know you're not breaking the law. I'm not detaining anybody. If there's anything I can do for you, I'll do it. Is there anything I can do? And I might have got a fuck you. Okay, guys, if you don't need anything from me, you'll have a good day. And I would have left. It would have been about a 10-second interaction. But Lopez, you can see him there almost biting his lip. And how long did he stay there? A few minutes, going back and forth, and then he came out with the whole I'm under no obligation. Olmos Park, you are under an obligation. You're under several obligations, in fact, and we're going to teach you that.
We have viewers asking if they do fire Valenciano, how do we not get this guy to take his place?
When they fire
Yes.
Valenciano, make no mistake, Chief Valenciano has committed several crimes. Being fired is the least of his worries. There's, you know, the AG's office is already investigating. Hopefully we can get the DOJ on board. He has committed some crimes. He's committed some federal crimes. You know, when you do what you did to CJ, there's some federal crimes that are committed, and we're pursuing those. So it's when he gets fired. And so how do we prevent somebody like this from taking his place? Look,
Same thing.
I don't care if Reed takes Chief Valenciano's place. The only thing I care about is that if he were to do it, that he follow the law when he's doing his job, right?
I think we already have our answer how that's going to be, but we got to wait and see.
I don't think that, I mean, unless the city wants to pay out more money, right? We filed our first federal lawsuit on Monday.
Yes.
First of 5 actions that are gonna come so far. And I think the city's smart. I think the city staff are smart. I don't think they're stupid. And I think that whatever they decide to do when they decide to fix this issue, when they do, they're gonna do it appropriately. And I don't think having somebody like that taking this spot is gonna be appropriate, right? We know that's just gonna be, it's gonna recreate the liability for the city. So I just don't see that happening.
The next question I have for you, Jack, I don't know if anybody's thinking about this too, is that if we were to come out here and open carry like we did at one door, like you guys did, with say Slacker or yourself, what are they going to do? I'd like to know. I want to know.
I still don't know. We will find out. We're going to find out. We're going to keep, right now we got several camera people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 people here supporting me. Fortunately, we are dealing with some officers, like I said, that I already know about, you know, my investigation. So you know, you guys know what I do. And I know the answers to the questions before I answer them. When I asked him if he knew me, I already know that he knows me. At this point with Olmos Park, I know about every single officer that's here. I know who's Master Peace officers and who are not. I know who's had great training. I know who came here as a last resort. I know who came here and as a career officer wouldn't go anywhere else. And he, you know, so, and he's a good officer, so I know who these folks are. How they're gonna react, I can tell you how he would react. Now I don't know about him, I only know his history. But I know I have him on video many times that he doesn't know about. And I no red flags whatsoever. In fact, I don't know how he walks around here and I get ridiculed amongst these guys because he's just not in line with their values. But how he would respond to let's say someone out there open carrying and they were by themselves and there wasn't no cameras around and he knows it's just them and that guy, or girl, I don't think he would stop.
Could you comment on that?
If he did stop, he probably would just say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And, you know, if I do like I normally do and ask him, "Do I have to answer that question?" he would most likely say, "You don't have to answer the question." He would handle it like we've seen the cops do in San Antonio, Selma, Schertz, Live Oak, Hollywood Park, Balcones Heights, Leon Valley, all the places that I've carried in the past year. And I walked into Selma City Hall with my AR-15 to do a FOIA request. He would handle it just like they did. And they would just do their jobs, maybe ask a few questions, but not violating rights. But as far as anyone else, I can't speak for them. Right now, I have no indication that they would do anything other than place your life in danger, because that's all they've done so far every time we open carry. I have a sign. They know who I am. They've identified me twice. They've had me in custody 3 times. They've contacted Arizona 3 times to try to get my license to carry a handgun suspended. The point is, there's no mistake who I am. There were 3 documented in-depth conversations about why I was out there. I told them I was coming out and I was going to engage in this legal activity until they learned how to deal with it correctly. Yet, I'm out there with a sign carrying my licensed handgun. Well, it was a training gun, but they didn't know that. And I'm at gunpoint. Put the sign down. Get on the ground. Handcuffed. And I gave that officer the opportunity, because we don't know what the officer's been told. He could have been told I just robbed a bank. So I asked him, why did all this happen? Because he didn't know my intent, is what he said, and he had to check me for warrants. It's all on video. I'm not making this up. So I don't know how they'll deal with you. I would recommend letting the pros deal with it. Let us do what we do until we get this place operating within the law, and maybe then one day you'll be able to come out here without fear of being held at gunpoint for engaging in legal activity. Anything else?
You want to FOIA request all the cameras?
FOIA request all the cameras?
All the cameras.
I'm not going to do that here because you have to write the FOIA request
So
out.
we just get a couple forms.
We can get some FOIA request forms. They do have some. I file all my FOIA requests online with the city manager, Diane Gonzalez. Diane Gonzalez? Diane Gonzalez is the city manager. They will accept FOIA requests via email, and then, you know, they respond to them. There's a little misconception about the time frame. So if you file a FOIA request with anyone, but let's say Olmos Park, and it's been 10 days, the proper thing to do, give them another email, or maybe give them a call. You're probably not going to be able to get through right now, but give them an email and just politely remind them that here's the law, these are what the requirements are. Sometimes you get further with, I don't know, what's the saying about honey and lemons, and catch more bees with honey or whatever. Be nice to them initially. Most of the time the city staff really aren't trying to be difficult. A lot of times they just don't know how to deal with this stuff. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I like to do that. Maybe they don't know they got 10 days. Maybe they don't know that stuff. So you just let them know what the time frame is. And then, like you saw me with the officer here with Reed, we start off like this, and then we appropriately go to the next level as needed. So start off nice with them. These guys have so far responded appropriately for the most part. You got to understand they are dealing with some potentially some what they feel are some serious legal claims coming, and so they're going to be a little reluctant to talk about things. Probably at the advice of their attorney that they've hired. So you have to just understand that. You can't force them to do anything. They're going to claim exemptions where they can, and they are allowed certain exemptions. So just be nice to the city staff when you're doing your FOIA request. Well, I'll get some. And then as far as the camera footage, that I'll have the attorney will probably, might be even watching the live stream and is already typing it up. So that's how we're working now. Millie Thompson is our attorney. We have some other attorneys involved as well, but Millie Thompson is the one that I retained. You know, whenever the day after CJ got arrested, they had this set up here, and they also had some signs prohibiting filming. And Amy Hedtke, Hedtke, was down here in the morning Filming in public lobbies and filming council meetings, that's her specialty. She immediately addressed that. Before she was done, Millie Thompson had already sent a letter to all the city officials letting them know, this is what you're violating, this is what the law is, and this is what I'm going to do to you if you don't fix it. And I think it took them about, I don't know, an hour or so to take those signs down for hearing and filming. And so far they're in compliance still.
Well, there's questions that are popping up, and you guys may have the same questions, I don't know, but it's very interesting that the secretary is saying that he's still hired, still employed, but when we all asked, especially the other day,
No
there's
comment.
No comment. So
Well,
what do we believe?
At least they're trying to make some effort to answer questions. I think it would be reasonable that they could say yes or no if he's still employed here. They should. Well, what does that hurt? Yes, you know, there have been some officers that were like, is he still employed? No comment, or I'm not obligated to answer your question. You know, what kind of law enforcement is that? What kind of obviously these guys right here are good cops. They've been told to keep their mouth closed. What kind of law enforcement is that? What kind of community policing is that? There's a serious problem here. There's some upset folks here. If I were the police chief, I would instruct my officers. They have a question, answer it. If they want to know if I'm here, tell them, hold on a second. Call me. I'll come out and talk to them. Right? I'm the leader. I'm the police chief. Call me. I'll go out and talk to them. Maybe I don't want the officers to say something. Maybe they'll say things that could be misconstrued or whatever, and the lawyer may not want to talk. Somebody needs to talk. And I think that should be the police chief. He's the one in charge.
They're asking if he's suspended with pay.
You know, we'll find out. We'll find out.
I gotta go walk.
Yeah, no problem.
Standing there still is killing me.
Okay. Can somebody go with you?
You wanna go to the show? Cause I gotta get cigarettes and I gotta get coffee.
No, I'm just gonna walk back and forth here.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
I got
you gonna be out
cigarettes.
here with him? Yeah. I'm just gonna walk, run under real quick.
Okay.
I'll
I
be
got
right back.
cigarettes. So let's see here. Can you just make sure that doesn't fall for me real quick while
Yeah.
I thought I had cigarettes. What did I do with my cigarettes? Oh no, I don't have them. Damn it.
I'm not going to tell you where they're at. Oh, man. I couldn't believe the arrogance of that son of a bitch.
Well, you can catch more bad cops with a camera than you can a donut.
Yeah.
But something that came up, I don't think that, I'm going to turn this around here. I don't think that enough emphasis had been put on Jim, who was with CJ that day, and he was the big guy that they had on his knees and had in handcuffs behind his back. And while he was on his knees with handcuffs behind his back, doing exactly what he was told, which was sitting, just on his knees, doing nothing, the chief came up from behind him, pushed him forward, knowing that he would hit his face on the ground.
And didn't push him easy either.
No, and didn't push him easy either. We got that all on video. Everybody's seen it that's been watching. Gave him a fracture, from what I understand, a fracture in the forehead, and broke his arm. Fracture just above the wrist, I believe it was. So.
Well, that'd be a concussion if the fracture the skull.
No, supposedly there was no concussion, but there was a fracture. Something could have hit it just right, and just, I'm no doctor, but that's.
Concussions with the brain.
Yeah. Concussion is when the brain hits one side and bounces around and gets damaged. But anyway, I'm no doctor, so I won't go to the end of that. And hopefully we're going to stop by the store here in a little bit. I'm going to get a different holder for my phone, because I've got a strap on this one that's blocking a lot of the comments. So it's really hard to see what's going on in the comments when you can only see half the sentence. If we do get a chance to stop by there sometime today, I'll try to pay more attention to the comments. But luckily, got distracted. Anyway, luckily Black Label has got the kind of holder where he can see what's going on in the comments. And he's asking the questions for a lot of you folks. Looky here, on the back of that truck. I bet we can figure out who. Let me show you guys. Come on, switch around, camera. On the back of that truck, the blue flag. I bet we can figure out who in that building that we just talked to owns that truck. Now, I can't guarantee it, but we see two officers that have been behaving themselves and doing their job properly, and they're not wearing any blue flags.
Right in the front row.
But we know who's here and with the blue flag, and it's parked right in the front row where the top tyrants would be parked.
Yeah.
Let's see if this one has a blue flag. It's down here further away. This might not even be a police car or a truck. I mean, a policeman or a police officer's truck. It could be some other employee. It could be a mayor or something else. Who knows? But if I was a wagering person, which I'm not, I would say we know who that truck belongs to. Can't find my damn cigarettes.
Oh man, shit. Were you saying smoke?
No, I needed to move around.
I'm in the zone, dude.
Yeah, I know. No, I was trying to tell you I'm going out, and then you said wait.
Yeah, it's starting to hurt in there, man.
I can't stand on a hard pavement for long. I don't know where the hell my cigarettes went to. But I bet I left them on your truck. I mean, on your.
You need one?
Smokers.
I left them. I left my cigarettes.
There you go. I got an extra pack.
All right.
Take what you need.
I left my cigarettes on his boat.
On
That's
the
what I
boat, I
did.
saw him up there, yeah. But
I
I
think-
brought an extra pack, so.
When we get the trunk open next time, I'll get a pack of cigarettes out of there. I got them in my bag.
You know, I don't think it's necessary. We're wasting battery. We'll do hard dedicated cameras on the.
All right, guys, I'm going to drop the live stream session battery.
We got dash cams and everything like that. So.
All right, guys.
But,
we're not gonna end the live stream right now, so if you guys want to hold your questions until we get back
I got 2 tablets in my phone, so I got plenty of battery.
Kiss my ass!
She was sitting there.